You ever load into a game and feel like everything in the universe immediately wants to kill you with claws, teeth, fire, or just pure hate? That's Warhammer 40K Darktide, baby. A game where you purge heretics for breakfast, dodge plague for lunch, and, if you're lucky, get told not terrible by your commanding officer. Set in Tertium, a hive city so massive and corrupt it makes Gotham look like a yoga retreat, Darktide throws you into the boots of a convict. You've been arrested for something. Heresy? Theft? Having bad vibes? Doesn't matter. The Imperium gives you one last shot at redemption. Pick up a weapon, shut up, and serve the Inquisition. You're now a reject. Expendable cannon fodder, set into the depths of a collapsing world filled with chaos cults, plague-infested monsters, and people who yell a lot about prophecy way too much. There's no big moral dilemma. No long-winded dialogue wheel. You're a tool in the Emperor's toolbox, and your job is to hit everything until it stops moving. If you're looking for the deep role-playing, this ain't it. But if you like lore, atmosphere, and the occasional rant about everything's doomed, you're in the right place. Darktide is a co-op horde shooter, but saying that undersells how intense, layered, and satisfying it really is. You and up to 3 other rejects are dropped into mission zones where your job is to complete objectives, while not being ripped apart by a swarm of chaos-addled lunatics. Missions range from assassinations to relic retrieval, sabotage ops, and horrifying data scans, where your team inevitably splits up, someone panics, and everyone dies. It's chaotic, but calculated. And the classes, they're not just skins with different guns. Each one completely changes how you play. The veteran is your classic soldier, long-ranged, focused, precise, efficient. They get buffs for picking off elites and have an ability that highlights priority targets for the whole squad. Basically, they're the one yelling, "Shoot the bomber!" before anyone else sees it. Zealots are fanatical melee freaks. They want to be low in health because they get stronger when they're almost dead. They charge into combat, swinging widely and survive off pure rage and holy spite. If the veteran is the sniper, the zealot is the mad dog. Psychers melt brains. Literally, they're the crowd control specialists, turning an elites into red mist with psychic pressure. But they have to manage peril. Push too far and their heads might explode. So, no pressure. Ogrins are giant slabs of meat with a heart of gold and the club the size of a small car. They're the tanks, controlling crowds, stunning enemies and turning entire mobs into splatter. They can carry heavy weapons no one else can even lift. Bonus, their grenades are literal boxes full of explosives. And in between missions, you return to the Morningstar Hub to craft gear, re-roll blessings, and get yelled at by NPCs who are somehow always disappointed in you. Combat in Darktide is loud, messy, and completely unhinged. You're constantly switching between melee and range, crowd control and focus fire, blocking and smashing. It's a war zone, but one that feels good to be in. Melee is crunchy and brutal, weapons hit like trucks, and positioning matters. Range combat feels just as intense, especially when you're covering tight hallways or keeping sharpshooters in check. The mix of both styles is what makes every moment feel dynamic. And the enemies, oh, they don't care about your feelings. They rush, swarm, climb, explode, scream, flank, and just generally act like chaos is paying them overtime. You can't zone out. You have to commit. Boss fights are rare but dramatic. Mutants, crushers, demon hosts, they just don't test your damage output, they test your ability not to panic. And panic is half the fun. Darktide's visual design is an actual triumph. It captures Warhammer 40K's signature blend of gothic horror, industrial rot, and religious paranoia in every single detail. The architecture is towering and oppressive. The interiors are dripping with grime. Lights flicker, not for style, but because this entire world is on the verge of collapsing into the warp. Enemies are grotesque. Player armour is actually beautifully detailed. Weapon effects are sharp, satisfying, and sell every impact. This isn't just another shooter, it's visual storytelling through suit, flame, and metal. When Darktide launched, it ran like a toaster being haunted. Crashes, lags, bug, it was rough. But credit where credit's due. Fat Shark didn't abandon ship. They patched and they tweaked and balanced. And in 2025, the game runs smooth on most modern PCs. Frame rate is stable, crashes are rare, the UI is responsive. You still might get the odd matchmaking hiccup, but overall the game feels solid and finely polished. The base game sits around $60 Australian, but it goes on sale regularly, and honestly, it's worth full price now, especially if you're into co-op or 40k. There's also optional cosmetics, most of which can be ignored. But if you want your Ogryn to look like a metal bulldozer, that'll be $15 please. Here's the bottom line. Darktide launched like a disaster, but it evolved. It grew, it bled, it got angry, and now it's a damn good game. If you like the brutal combat, endless hordes, deep team play, and one of the most visually distinct worlds in gaming, this is your call to arms. Solo players, you might struggle, but if you got friends, a mic, and a tolerance for chaos, this thing rips. The verdict? Yes. Buy it. Dive in. Serve the Inquisition. Purge the heretic. And remember, in the grim darkness of the far future, the Reviver time is your only hope. If you enjoyed that, guys, feel free to subscribe. I'll be definitely making some more in the future. So hit that like button, and I'll see you soon.